Oh, don't you dare touch that dial.
Oof.
Oh, boy.
Get your hands off.
Get your hands off that dial. We just heard a song from Nail Polish that was recorded. It was bootleg.
Yep.
Not an official recording. That was bootleg at their last show by Sarah Bootleg and Strutton. Strudel?
Yeah. Strudel.
Strudel?
Yeah.
Hello, my name's Danny.
I'm Joseph.
And we are Accents on Purpose, a weekly radio show that covers the music of Seattle, the Pacific Northwest, and beyond. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, that means you got your AM band, your radio turned to AM 1045,
You're dialed
KAOP. We got 88 watts of power coming at you all throughout Seattle. And it's possible that you have downloaded the podcast. There's many options.
Yeah, there's so many options to listen.
Joseph, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. How are you doing, Danny?
Not too bad.
Good. I'm actually getting kind of frightened the closer we get to Halloween.
All Hallows Eve.
Yeah, see that?
I'm old school.
You are? Samhain? Is that what you're talking about? Look, Gary keeps decorating the studios and spider webs.
Those are actually just spider webs.
Oh, so we just stopped cleaning?
We stopped cleaning.
And we stopped paying for the maid service. Well, we actually haven't played a commercial in a while, so we probably can't afford it.
We need to do a fund drive.
Yeah.
But no, those were actual just regular spider webs. That skull, not a decoration. I'm not going to get into where that came from.
I appreciate that. I want deniability.
But if you wonder why the bumper of my car is messed up. Anyways, Joseph.
Yeah.
You listening to anything lately?
Yeah, there's 2 new albums that actually just came out today that I'd love to mention. Local Heroes. I don't know why I said that.
They're not sandwiches.
Yeah. He Who Zoxes Gourds new album just came out. Yeah. Friends of the show. And just good people. Their band's really good. I suggest picking that up. And one of my favorite bands, I've been waiting for like 3 years for an album from them, which is Kowloon Walled City. Please check it out. I like both these bands.
Who the fuck is that second one?
They're a band from San Francisco. And they're very, very good.
And you get so excited that your voice cracks when you talk about them?
My voice cracks all the time because I'm still going through puberty. So,
have you gotten fur where there wasn't fur before?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Joseph, now, there's a few times that after we've left the studio, we've stumbled back to your place.
Yep.
Have a few brewskis or two skis.
Yep.
And now I always notice that you have a stack of library books. Oh, wait. They're not library books. They're comic books from the library.
Yes.
Do you like comics?
I love comics.
Do you like independently published comics?
You know, oddly enough, I do.
Well, luckily our guests are the organizers of Short Run.
I did luck out on that one.
Yes. Kelly and Erin, thanks for showing up. I want to say hello.
Yes, thanks.
Hi,
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
Who's who?
I'm Kelly.
I'm Erin.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
People confuse us sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, all right, I got a lot of questions. Short Run is a lot of things. Let's start off with the main event that's happening this Halloween.
Great.
Why don't you explain it to our listeners?
Yeah, this is our 5th annual festival. And perhaps you remember back in 2011, we had a little one-day show at the Vera Project. And we had 800 people show up. And it blew our minds. We didn't think that 800 people would show. And this year we're expecting about 3,000. So we've grown every single year.
Well, why don't you explain to our listeners exactly what Short Run is instead of bragging about the numbers?
No, let's get back to the numbers actually, Danny.
We're very popular.
Do you want to?
Yeah, so Short Run's a comics and arts festival, so that means that we have a lot of alternative comics and art books and small press literature. We have a lot of handmade things that you wouldn't be able to buy anywhere else, things that are published in, lots of 50. They're short runs. They're very, they're hard to find, and we bring them to Seattle, and we put it all together, and it really makes a lot of sense. You know, some people come for the comics, some people come for the poetry, but everybody finds something new each time they come.
So it's not just artists from Seattle, it's from all around?
Yeah, it's definitely national artists. We've also had international artists, and we will have some this year. But yeah, we have people coming from all over the country. We have 2 special guests coming from Massachusetts.
Who would those people be?
Yeah, that's Charles Forsman, and he has 2 books out with Fantagraphics, The End of the Fucking World, maybe you've heard of it, and Celebrated Summer, is that it? No.
Yeah.
Celebrate Summer.
And
And
you know what? That's the same name as one of my favorite Who's Could Do songs.
Oh, is it?
Gary? Such a great song.
Ooh, I'm glad we Husker did that.
Oh,
And Melissa Mendez, and they're a comics couple, and they're coming out together.
Power couple?
And I would say so. They're both doing really great things. They work well together, and yeah. So they're sort of they're our special guests, along with local legends, Jim Woodring and animator Bruce Bickford. And so we always try to have a few special guests, a few international guests, and the application process is open nationwide. So we have people traveling from New York, Toronto, all over the place. And we as comic artists do the same thing and try to hit a bunch of smaller shows across the country too.
So now at the first one you had 70 people tabling. The next year you had 100. This year it's 200, correct?
Yeah, it's actually over 200.
It's over 200.
A little over
Somehow.
200.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So
Back to the numbers.
now, so you have over 200 people.
Yes,
Two and
please
some
be accurate.
change. About how many people applied?
Oh, we probably had to turn away over 100 others.
So,
Yeah.
quick question: has anyone offered you a bribe?
Ooh. Well,
Is that weird to bring up?
Danny.
Is that weird to bring up in front of both of you, since
No.
maybe only one was offered the bribe?
they bring instead rage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We've had a few years
Ooh.
with some pretty rough losers.
Yeah.
Poor losers.
Yeah.
Sore losers.
sore losers mostly. No bribes, but a lot of people
Yet.
do think,
Yet.
oh, you're a small show, I can just show up, or I can just
Have
email
people just
you.
showed up on the day
Well,
of?
they email me like 6 days before,
Yeah.
like, hey, any table space?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
So-
they assume that they've gotten in, so they'll be like, they'll send us a question assuming that they're in, and we're like, we haven't even released who has been accepted yet. So.
I'm going to have electricity at my table, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
You're like, what? Who are you?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, no electricity for anyone this year.
Whoa.
And no wall space.
Now, so do you get? Now, I mean, you don't have to name specifics or anything, but do you get applications from people who just don't get it, like people who want to sell like back issues of Archie comics? and-
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
We kind of changed them. We adjusted the model of the comic convention, and we liken ourselves more to an art show, actually, an art festival. We curate everything. We look at every applicant's work, and if the links that they provide to us are not clear, we write to them. We ask for more. So we're putting together a show of work that we can stand by and say, this is what we want to show you. So it's very hard when people apply who have not ever been to the festival before, assume that we're another sort of just another comic convention, and that if they just get their application in time, they'll get in, or that we won't look at everything. So sometimes we get people that are just kind of misinformed. They didn't really do the research, so they're submitting with Disney storyboard art. And we're like, that's not a book. What are you going to sell? What are you doing? Have you ever heard of us before?
And that's one thing. So I've gone to things similar to Short Run for a while and all over the place, and like I gotta be honest, like it just like kind of pisses me off when someone's just selling their version of a copyrighted work. Like it's like they drew a bunch of people from the Family Guy, but if the Family Guy were the Addams Family, or I don't know, so
right.
like or like Star Wars characters if they were from the Wild Wild West, and that's all they have, and I was like, so you're a bootlegger? This is weird because I don't understand what you're doing.
I mean, we make notes. We review everything, and then we get together with more people and have a little voting panel and stuff. And our notes to each other are always kind of funny because we're like, we kind of see where they're going with this. but we don't like it.
Yeah.
Or like, what is this style that keeps showing up? What is happening to us? Why?
Like the swashbuckling style is like.
Yeah, this year we saw a lot of that.
Like pirates?
Like lots of pirates. Yeah. A lot of it.
I
It's
don't
weird.
know.
It's a whole like genre.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that
Sometimes
either.
it's good. Sometimes
Pirates
it
and
works out.
bootleggers,
But
so.
Next up is the Buccaneers. And we do not want that because that's state.
Not at this festival.
Because that is state-sponsored piratism.
Oh,
the
gosh.
worst kind.
So from what my understanding, you folks started Short One because you were like, wow, every city has something of small press, but Seattle doesn't. Am I correct?
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting too because we started in 2011, like Kelly said, and one of the co-founders, whose name was Martine Workman. So she actually moved to DC right after that first short run, and she's back this year for the very first time, and we're so excited to have her be a part of it. She's one of my favorite artists of all times, and I'm thrilled about it. And I totally forgot what your question was.
Yeah, what was the question?
Well, is this about you said that you had said that like you started this because Seattle?
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So at what point did you see that it became, because it is like an international thing now? When was that like point where it's like, okay, wait, this isn't just people in Seattle that are going to come for this?
Yeah.
When did you folks realize that?
I guess after the first year, nothing, works better than word of mouth. And the first year of a new show is heartily embraced. I don't even think, the first year, just the fact that you did it and pulled it off, people start, hey, this new show in Seattle. Because I think our second year, we had a guy from the UK come, and we didn't even the next year we're like, we want to get some international artists out here, and like the year before, like we had one and we didn't even really know, we were like, who is this guy?
Did you realize because he was trying to get people changed in euros, and everyone's like, no, I can't accept this. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Go to an ATM.
Yeah.
But that was definitely a highlight, and it really changed the way that we thought about the festival. We were getting national artists since our second year, and even Canadian artists in I believe our first year. But having somebody who came from another continent was so huge for us, and we were like, we can make this happen. And so that year was wonderful. We ended up working really closely with 3 artists from Finland, South Africa, and the UK, and brought them out here, showed them a good time, maybe too good of a time. Joe Garber,
Max Klopfelter, our party ambassadors.
You know what you did.
Yes, and then do it again. Come Short Run Week, Aaron and I are seen in bars for like the only week of the year that you'll see us, and we're like, God, what are we? Oh, geez, again tomorrow. Let's go do it again tomorrow night. When you have international guests, it's just like you just want to show them the best of Seattle and just like get them out. But just to go back to your question, though, as comic artists, we want to be at the cool show. We want to be at the show that's not in financial straits or is changing ownership and it's becoming mainstream. Everyone wants to be at the cool DIY show that gets it, that gets what you're doing. And that was sort of our goal, is like, look, we are you. Like, we're the comic artists that know what's good. And
I do like the mission goal of let's be the good one.
Sure.
What if we did this well?
Yeah, right.
Wasn't Google's mission statement, "We'll never be evil"?
Yeah.
And now they're partnering with the CIA.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But they're not evil.
So short runs, right?
Yeah. You can actually change your mission statement as often as you'd like. So.
So one of the things that you said about Short Run, Kelly, is that it allows the creative process to be more of a conversation than the one-way streets. Can you explain that?
Wow, that's pretty good.
Wow.
Like,
wait, did your publicist write that? You didn't even know? Or did you disagree with that statement?
No, I like it. I still like it. So what we like about the tabling model is, when you rent some space at a table, it's like you are getting your own little store for the day. And so you're there and you're interacting with people and you're really putting yourself out there. You're putting yourself on the line. And you made these books by hand. Maybe, like in my case, I write really personal stories, sometimes too personal. And there they are on this table, and people are walking by, and maybe they look and they're not interested. Many of them are, and they just walk by, and you have to kind of steel yourself to that. But the ones that stop and flip through and look at your book and then look you in the eye, and then like there's this connection there, and they're like, hey, I get this. And so this is where you're expressing yourself making these books, and the next step is the connection of the reader.
And how cool is that? Like, this is one place where you get to meet the person who made the thing.
Right.
So, at a show, like, you're not going to go backstage afterwards. If you go to an art
Etsy
gallery,
order,
like, if you go to the opening, maybe you'll get to talk to the artist. But here, you get to talk to every single artist. You get your chance. You get to, like, ask them about their process or what's interesting, or, and it's really wonderful to be able to communicate directly with the people who like your work. As an artist, it really means a lot to hear what people are thinking about it and, get some feedback.
And it'll help you sell more, too. If it's just a book on a table with no person, it's not as engaging. But if you're there, hey, I'm Kelly.
Especially with that many books.
Oh, yeah.
Like that whole day, there's just so many.
Yeah, you have to put yourself out there. You have to sell it a little bit. And I don't mean it in an insincere way. I don't mean take a class on selling. Yeah. I just mean like be present and be like, this is my work, and let's talk about it.
Well, I mean, and so like I said, I've gone to things like this, both at Short Run and other places.
Bragging.
Joseph, why don't you just go to the library and get a bunch of fucking Justice League comic books?
I do that too. I like comics of all shapes and sizes.
But so the thing is, it's very rare that actually anyone tries to sell something. Like, I don't like being sold something.
Right.
Because usually people go, if you walk up and they're like, they might say, well, this is what it is, but they kind of wait for you to like initiate something, which is good, because if I went up to a table and some guy was like, man, you know what? Like, I can tell you and I are like similar. You would like, 10% off, like anything like that. I would immediately
like a car salesman.
Yeah. That'd be bad. I think we're all a little bit too shy and weird for that.
We all hate ourselves
a real battle. I can't tell you a comic artist who hasn't had the moments where they do show up to a show and they're not feeling like even standing up, and they're just they're feeling really shy about it. And so you as the consumer, you kind of have a hand in that, like making them feel like they can look you in the eye or speak. But
and it's also kind of important that the artist does step out there though and say, like, when people come up to our table, we have dozens of things on our table and no one knows what to look at, and so it's kind of good to engage with people and be like, what are you interested in? Like, do I even have it? Can I explain something so that you like stop for a second and like pay attention to one thing? But it's a really hard thing to
and at the show, I mean, as y'all were saying, it's there, you're gonna see like thousands of books. So sometimes if I have someone at my table and they're moving kind of quickly and they'll pick one up, I'll be like, oh, well, that's about my white trash aunt. Oh, that's about a zoo gorilla or something. And just kind of like, hopefully that'll like get a little laugh and we can kind of talk about it. But it also kind of speeds their process of, what is this?
That'd be great if someone was like, I'm somebody's white trash. I'm gonna buy this for them. So they know they're not alone.
This is the book for you.
But it's interesting because it is a lot easier for us to, I think, sell each other's work too. So when people come up to the table, we'll often be like, well, this is the one about the white trash. And you want that. Like, come on, I know you want that.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, because just a little bit ago, I went down to Portland for their small press thing, and I went with a woman that does Rachel's comics. And it was funny because we had tables next to each other.
Wait, do you mean Rachel?
I mean Rachel.
Oh, I know her.
Who does Rachel comics. And it was funny because people kept coming up to the table and like, I mean, okay, I feel that, the stuff that I had like a kind of a certain audience, and if I felt that like they were looking at my stuff and I would be like, what she has, and like I would start selling her stuff because that's the thing. It's like, I mean, obviously I wasn't there to make money, and obviously I wasn't gonna make money, like like more than I was spending to go to Portland. And it's really just like I wanted to get my stuff to people who might enjoy it, because like I don't feel that it's like fun to sell something and like you're this is not for you, and not being like it's too smart. It's just like it's just not for you, and that's fine. And so like I can understand like sometimes other people are better at selling your stuff.
Yeah, I think I sell more when we have these two volunteers that have been with us since the first year, and they're real pals of ours too.
Brian and Jessica.
And they're young and have this amazing enthusiasm, and they're really, really great. And when they are behind our table, I just step back. I just like go around the corner, take a break. So it's nice to have people that have read your work and appreciate it.
Oh, sorry. So one more thing, and this might just be the answer. This might be luck, but now I've talked to a lot of people all over the country.
Wow.
Who've gone to like different places to like different things like Short Run, and everyone says they sell the most stuff at Short Run. How do you get people? Because you can't get like it's easy to get like 200 great people tabling. But how the fuck do you get the people willing to spend so much money that everyone who goes is like, today was awesome. I sold so much stuff.
I wish that would get around a little bit more, actually.
Yeah, you can say it as many times.
Because we go to a lot of shows, and a part of it is luck. And the lucky part is that we're in Seattle at a time when people are in love with this medium and books, and people that read and people that want to go out and do stuff have seen Short Run as a cool enough event to come out to. And so we have a buying public here, a culturally curious public that no matter where we ask them to go, they're gonna come to it. So whether it's a historic building in the Central District, or we ask them to come back to Seattle Center this year, we hope they follow us, because it is a good event. It's a one-day event where you're going to get a lot of neat stuff. But other cities are, I don't know, either they've have too many comics events, or comics are almost too available. They're everywhere.
Well,
but like,
I feel like Seattle has a penchant for did I say that right? For embracing the weird and the artistic.
But Seattle has tons of comic conventions. They just suck because
there's larger.
They're different.
Which other ones are there other than
Seattle Emerald City Comic Con?
Yeah, but that's like
it's a different
Justice League comics, as we previously
it's mainstream and alternative have really kind of split.
You should see his cosplay. So now, when you decided to start Short Run, did you know that it was going to be an annual event?
Oh, God, no.
Okay.
We prepared for about...
If we could turn back time.
Right. We prepared for about 6 months, maybe even a little bit less. We had no idea what the fuck we were doing. We were, just making it up.
Yeah, it's at Vera Project. It's a really supportive space, and it's really not that big. And we were like, we can maybe get some people here, at least our friends. Yeah. And we knew that we're building off of a base that's very hardy. Like, there's a lot of comic book artists here. If they all come and they tell like 2 people, we're going to have a great party here today. Yeah. And then, just lucky for us, everyone was interested.
Yeah, I think that up until the doors opened for about an hour, when it was kind of slow, I think we were all thinking, well, we don't need to do this again, and that's fine. Yeah. I'm totally happy with that, because then I can sleep and I don't have to be nervous all the time, and I don't have to work so hard. For
we could work on our own projects.
Yeah, maybe. I can make my own books. That would be awesome. Yeah. But then when it got flooded, we were just like that's it. Like, we didn't even get to make that decision. It was really made for us.
The adrenaline of that day, was, and just the high of pulling it off and feeling the support of the community. We know there's a comics community. We participated in it all throughout the year. Short Run is a sort of love fest of that, really, where everyone is working hard to premiere something at that show, and they're seeing people from out of town, and everyone's just it's a really joyous day for people that are slaving away at their work tables for most of the year. So it's a real social event for people that are not usually that social.
So what was that conversation like? Of like, we're doing it again, and like, I mean, what's like? Because I mean, I'm sorry, I've never like, you know, I mean,
I don't think we talked about
okay, so it just started happening.
Well, we lost 2 members after that first year.
I mean,
Yeah.
100 people.
Were they climbing out?
Overwhelming.
Were they climbing out the bathroom window?
Basically, they
Let
like
me outta
moved.
here.
Everyone was gone. It was
Yeah.
just Kelly and I, and that was really hard. That second year was just the two of us. We didn't have a huge volunteer base. We didn't have, you know, a board of directors like we have now that we're a nonprofit. Like we didn't have any of that infrastructure in place. And so that second year was probably the year where we were most like, I don't know if I can do that again.
Tears were shredded. Tears were shredded for sure.
Yeah.
For the third year, you changed the way you guys did things.
Yeah.
We did.
Quite a
We
bit.
added quite a bit of support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's made all
I
the
call them
difference.
crutches.
Oh, God.
Well, and one of the
Be nice to the guests. I have to say that every week. I just want to
one of the main things that we changed was getting Janice Headley on board, and we often said that she was the baby that kept us together.
It saved our marriage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because without her, like we were so tired and so exhausted from that second year, and we couldn't like envision a world where we could pull it off again on our own. We, you know, like we dedicated everything to that baby, and it was like it was so hard.
Yeah, and she came in and she redid our website, and she really pushed us.
She wanted an internship and to do our website.
She does a lot of websites, and she's
Including Yola Tango.
she does
Oh,
wow.
We're actually like sharing server space with them. It's pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool.
And but
Wait,
Janice
so
also.
that means you can like leak tracks and stuff.
Oh,
Oh no, we don't know how to do
What?
it. We don't know.
Is he speaking English? I don't know. We'll have to ask Janice, but it was a cool thing. It's a
We'll
cool.
ask Janice if we can leak tracks.
Of her probably biggest client.
Yeah.
Oh, she's just like she's just friends with them. Like
Yeah,
she's just
yeah.
like, I'm just gonna do this for you guys.
Oh, cool.
Cause yeah,
Crazy.
She likes them. But things to forward momentum just kind of started happening, and Aaron and I that second year were like, well, you know, fuck, what else can we do? And we started growing outwards our ideas of what this could become and what other things we can do and put our hands in just kept growing. And so we decided to grow the satellite events, the smaller events throughout the year that we would sponsor and we would facilitate. And so that was a way that we could start building, you know, our name and our reputation, and be responsible for hosting people that come to Seattle and don't know where to perform or read or whatever. And we could do that, and lots of other things.
Yeah, I mean, this last year has been our biggest year. One, we have been a nonprofit for an entire year now, and that changed the course of like what we thought Short Run would be. And so now we have a ladies comics residency. We have a publishing branch. We have the Dash, which is a grant for self-publisher to produce a book to premiere at the festival, and then they also get into, you know, have a mentor to help them work on the book. And then we've hooked them up with Fogland Studios, an amazing
That's huge.
Yeah, and
It was a great prize that we put together, I think. And
Do they get a tote bag too?
definitely get a
That's
tote
what most
bag.
exciting.
The tote. And we did every Monday in August we did what we were calling summer school at Hollow Earth Radio, and that was
Our competitors.
that was
You're on
artists.
AM.
Run AM.
Yeah.
They just got an FM tower, didn't they?
Yeah.
No.
Bastards.
Yeah. FM's a dying.
Yeah,
Come on,
FM,
guys.
it's
Come
like,
on, keep it nice.
Seriously. if you need more than 88 watts of power, what the fuck?
So the
August,
classes were like artists that specialize in something, do something really well. People could do a sliding scale and get into these really small classes and artists learning from other artists. So instead of having to commit to a 6-week class for $650, you can just spend a crash course night of inking techniques with Max Kloppfelter, or watercolor with Robin Jordan, or perspective with Sarah Glidden, and our Photoshop guru Erin. And so and we could go throughout almost the whole comics community and pick out more people that could teach these classes.
Yeah, we're super excited to grow that. I think we want to grow everything, unfortunately, which is like, it's great, it's wonderful, but
you gotta pick and choose, I bet.
Yeah, we do.
But I mean, we would like for Short Run to be an arts organization, a more substantial arts organization in the city, whereas so that Erin and I could actually be like official part-time employees. Mm-hmm. We like to dedicate our time to growing this thing, but we also have our hands in a lot of other things, and we have to live, and we have to do our own books, and so we want to. We see these glimmers of hope with Short Run of, we can grow these classes, this education arm, and, we can make these books. Well, we're not going to make any money in the books. We can do other things. And now being a nonprofit, we are applying for larger and larger grants.
Cool.
So
if you have a grant,
email us.
At
Accents on Purpose Podcast
at gmail.com.
And if we don't want it, we'll send it to Short Run.
Sounds good.
We're green. Yeah.
There should be more grants for AM radio.
Yep.
Unfortunately, there's not. So now, what are the let's say I go to Short Run on October 31st at
Fisher Pavilion, Seattle Center,
305 Harrison Street, Seattle, Washington 98109, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yes.
Which is funny because Joseph wakes up at 6 p.m. and he goes to bed at 11 a.m. and so there's no chance that he's going to see it.
Oh no!
I don't know where that joke came from. I feel like you wrote that before you came in.
What are the chances that if I go there, I will see a bloody pussy?
Oh, you definitely will.
Like
guaranteed.
Is 300% a number?
Yeah. All the contributors will be there.
Well, why don't you explain to our listeners what bloody pussy is?
Yeah, definitely.
No, let's leave it
No,
at
let's
that.
not.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wrap it up, folks.
All right, have fun trying to Google that.
It's our X-rated feminist newspaper, comics newspaper, and this is outside of Short Run, actually.
Oh,
Yes,
this is
not related to Short Run in
no,
any way.
it just so happens that Erin and I and our board member, Mita Mahato, were sitting around one night, and we were like, God, we need to... Wouldn't it be great to do just like a bunch of comics that really show off this kind of more raw side of how we can tell stories? And we were feeling sort of taken for granted in that regard, that women kind of draw a certain way, men draw a certain way, and we really wanted to shake that up. And that was sort of like that was sort of the idea, but then we took it a lot further and just ended up making this really important paper to us. And it was a really great expression of what this crew we put together could do.
So I work at a record store, and I don't know which contributor it was, but she came in, and she was really, really like overly polite. And she was like, I have these comics, and I was wondering if I could put them out, and like they're not like family, like they're not for kids and stuff. And I'm like, fuck kids, like I hate kids. And it was great.
Danny, bashing kids.
Yeah.
Like every episode, I think.
Oh, I think that was Tatiana.
Okay.
Yeah, she told me that what places that she hit, and I
Okay.
was like, yeah.
And they like disappeared within a day. Like they disappeared.
Well, we
Yeah.
can bring more. We do have some, and if you want one, you just have to send us money for postage, and we will send it to you.
That's
it's
right.
free comic newspaper, but we also don't want to pay any more
do they
for
reach
shipping.
How do they reach you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we made a Gmail account. What
But I
is
can't
it?
remember
It's
what it is.
blood.pus.northwest NW. Oh,
I think that's
shit. Is
yeah,
there
something
two
like that.
periods?
If so, see your doctor.
Yeah.
If your bloody pussy has 2 periods, for fuck's sake.
We'll send you that
that.
email.
We'll
No one
send you
deserves
that
it.
later.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
yeah, we'll
I mean,
post it.
the people of Short Run could maybe forward that email to one of us.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, we could talk to somebody who organizes that festival, and maybe they
Yeah, you
would
guys
know
know
how to
anyone
get in
there?
touch
Yeah,
with.
it'll come around. We have many email addresses.
But now also, this got some national or international notoriety just in the past couple days.
Right.
Yeah, we were in AV Club. That was really exciting.
So did you mail one to
I
them?
mailed it to
Okay.
them. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how
Well,
we get it
Was
done.
it with a really nice note, or you
No.
just fuck it?
I just mailed
On
it.
beautiful stationery. It smelled like
with
perfume.
no note whatsoever.
No, no.
Yeah. Just what the fuck? Question mark send.
The thing is I didn't even realize that AV Club had what they call comics panel, which is their comics section. So
It's all like Marvel and DC.
a lot of it is, but there must have been something about alternative comics because I found it and I was reading it, and then I just clicked on, that author or comics panel or something like that. Anyway, I got an address and I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna send it, and didn't expect anything, but it happened really fast. Yeah. And I'm glad if anyone reads it, because you have to scroll down through like 40 pages of Wolverine or bullshit.
Exactly. Yeah, I know, yeah.
And then at the top, there's like nothing at the top except it was like this big headline about a mainstream comic, and then other reviewed bloody pussy.
Yeah, I think it's Martian Manhunter. It's
Yeah.
like it's like Martian Manhunter's changing gears.
Exactly.
Yeah, oddly, that paper also got into the Library of Congress, which was like fucking crazy.
Oh, does
like,
Lindsey Graham know? It's not on television.
Well, that was Mita's
We have
connection.
we have mint juleps every Tuesday. So.
Yeah, that was amazing.
The cool thing about that Library of Congress thing is that Mita had a
Meeting?
Mita connected us somehow, and that person was like, our Pacific Northwest periodicals section is kind of light.
Periodical.
No, okay, we'll use that for the next.
Not another period.
Oh,
joke from you.
periods. Anyway, so
What about next month?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay,
it keeps
that's
going.
3.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
So all of the contributors were also able to send their own graphic novels
good.
and books. So we feel as artists that paper has
Yeah.
turned the key to some things for us. So that's awesome. But it is issue 1 of 1, limited edition. We're not doing it. It's not going to be the lady version of Intruder comics newspaper. It was just our preferred medium for this piece. But we are going to do other projects as the Blood Sisters, the 3 editors.
So changing gears a little bit, maybe a lot.
Just like Martian Manhunter.
That's his power.
That's the most I've ever made him laugh.
That's actually true. Erin, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about Detained, because this is a very, I feel, fascinating work.
Yeah, so that's my second graphic novel done in 2010, and that's about immigration detention centers in the Northwest. So I got to go on tours of these facilities. There's one in Seattle. It was the former INS building, and it's been converted into an artist space. But right before that happened, I got to go with a former detainee, Manny Uch, and his lawyer, and the people who run the building, and we went in and did a tour and recorded audio. I worked with the Seattle Globalist, who is also a short run partner, and all of the journalists who were ahead of that organization created work about that story as well. So they were writing about both the former INS detention center and the Northwest Detention Center in Tacoma, which is like a current facility. So they really looped me into all the people to talk to and connected me with people that they were interviewing. And so we did that whole process together. It's the first time I did anything like comics journalism. And I learned a lot really fast, and it was it was really frightening because you're dealing with real lives and real people. But it was a wonderful experience, and I loved working with those guys. They're really good friends of mine. And so then I went to the Northwest Detention Center, and that's basically like going into this crazy labyrinthine like prison that has like it just every time you turn a corner you feel like you're totally lost. You don't know where you are because everything is just so sterile and white. Just a very weird experience to be able to go to those two facilities and sort of like compare and contrast the things that have changed in history with immigration detention. Yeah, okay.
That sounds intense, but I haven't read it, but now I want to.
And the book itself, you should describe the format of that.
Oh yeah, so it's a 26.
Friends are always better at selling
Yeah.
other people's
Thanks,
books.
Kelly.
Ta-da!
So it's a 26-foot long accordion book, and it's two-sided and like spot color. Yeah, but it's so it's all folded up, so you can read it like a regular book, or you can unfold it, and it's one continuous panorama. So it's basically like a cross section of the building, and you're walking through all these different hallways and different rooms. And so I had to do a lot with like figuring out the blueprints, and it's not exact by any means, but it tries to take you through all the different places that the detainees will be, and like they're working in the kitchen and they're doing the laundry, and so you get to see all of those spaces and people interacting in them too.
Is this going to be for sale at Short Run?
It will be for sale at Short Run.
All right.
Yeah.
Listeners, get it there.
So I mean, what was like some of like once it came out was what's some of the reaction? Because I mean I've seen it. It's amazing, and like the issue is just something that I mean immigration in the United States and right now and when that came out is really dividing peoples in different ways. Like I have family members who are very very Republican, except when it comes to like immigration, only because of like who they married and like things like that. And so like when it came out, like what was some of the reaction?
For me, I mean, I mostly got good reactions, but I wasn't putting it in a public place where there'd be like, you know, people who were like, "Fuck you, you stupid bitch," you know, like none of that was happening.
There was
in
no like Yahoo message board.
Exactly. There
commenters.
You didn't mail one to Reddit?
I didn't. That
would
was
be a disaster.
Yeah, right. That would
mail
be
one
so
to Reddit,
bad.
one to 4chan.
Yeah. But Aaron did an opening for it at Fantagraphics with the gentleman that you took the tour with. And his family.
Yeah, both the people who are the main characters came to that event.
Yeah.
And I also, so it's actually on permanent display in the former INS detention center in Seattle called Inscape. So that's going to be up forever. That's part of a Wing Luke museum exhibit.
It's in between sheets of glass, and you can walk around it and read it. Wow. It's very cool.
That's very cool.
Well, you guys just have your hands in everything in a good way.
We try to. We try to just keep the momentum going, you know?
Speaking of momentum, we need to pay some bills. Time for a commercial
Finally.
break.
Good God, I'm broke.
Oh.
All right,
We're going to take the bills out of my own pocket.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Commercial bake. That's what you said.
Okay.
Value Village has thousands of new and thrifty costumes, plus costume consultants to help.
Actually.
Yeah. All right, so now if I go to... welcome back.
Oh.
Hang on.
And we're back! Oh, yeah! It's JoJo and the Elf.
The elf.
So...
It's not even Halloween yet. Can't move on to Christmas.
Well, maybe I'm going as an elf for Halloween.
Ooh, okay. You know what? Fair.
So if I go to Short Run on October 31st,
If you should.
is there just tabling? Because if so, I'm not going to go. There better be.
Danny hates.
If it's just
he hates
tabling, there's. Please tell me there's something else that's tabling.
Yeah, we've got a ton of stuff this year. We have
Let's hear about it.
Okay, I will tell you. I will now tell you.
Aw.
So Most Ancient is coming out from California, and they're doing this virtual reality art and sound installation experience. And I can't really tack on more words. That's pretty much as far as I can go.
But like the goggles, the animation in front of your eyes.
Wow.
And it's so funny because we've always been like, we're not going to have gaming. We're not that kind of festival. But this is a totally different experience.
It's a very artistic expression of gaming, I guarantee.
Yeah, it's not what you think. And then we also have Fictilis coming over from Oakland, and they're going to do a few different things. So they're going to do a census. They're going to be like walking around and taking census from both, I think, exhibitors and the audience, and they're just gonna like, I'm not sure what kind of wacky zany questions they're gonna have, but they're
gonna process the information at the show, right? So that's gonna be kind of neat.
And those are like these really awesome folks who used to live in Seattle who are just brilliant. They're doing like, they're constantly on residencies, getting grants. They do the Great Wall of Oakland, which is this amazing projection of video art.
They used to have a gallery in Pioneer Square, and that's where I first met them.
Yeah.
And then luckily they still want to continue a
I
relationship.
think
with
I
us.
have actually been to that gallery. Did they have like a really old projector in it? Maybe not.
Totally
Never mind.
possible. I mean,
probably.
yeah, I think every gallery does. Somewhere.
If you're a gallery and you don't have one, email us at accentsonpurposepodcast@gmail.com. We have a lot.
Also, if you're the first 50, if you're one of the first 50 people, you get what we're calling swag bags. That's an accepted term.
Shit we all get.
Yeah.
Not actually what that stands for.
Oh.
Are you worried about the reaction of the 51st person who walks in and doesn't get that bag?
Well, we are going to regulate it a little bit more because last year, like a family of 4 all insisted that each one of them get one, and there's a lot of repeating stuff.
Come? Is that
The
what they're doing?
Duggars?
Duggars. Oh.
That's like 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Counting.
No.
Whoa!
No Duggars. They get
No
one
Duggars
per family.
allowed.
Yeah.
One per family.
I'd be on board with that.
And they're also really not for kids. We're going to put some intruders in there.
Okay.
Yeah,
And-
but for kids, we're gonna have trick or treating because it's Halloween.
Yeah.
So a bunch of people are bringing candy, buttons, stickers, mini zines,
Razor blades inside of the apple.
Yes, I mean that's what we will be handing out at the door.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so that's gonna be really cool. We also have a mask making zone, a whole kids zone where kids can do a lot of stuff. You don't leave your kids all day or leave them permanently. Please.
Yeah. Please don't.
But you can actually take your kids, have them have their experience, have your adult experience, and you get to see
There's
all
plenty
of
of
It's gonna be the most
places.
disease-ridden area. The
Yeah.
most
Maybe some
sick-
hand sanitizer on the table for that.
Kids
That's
are
a great
walking
idea.
back.
Maybe
But-
we require them to
God.
put on little
In
masks.
and out. And a foot bath, maybe,
And a foot
too.
bath. Yeah. I mean, I want a foot bath.
Actually, not now.
That sounds great.
Now you're just delousing the kids in the
Yeah.
as their parents shop.
That scene in Shawshank Redemption.
Well, we try to think of, maybe the girlfriend or boyfriend who's kind of been dragged to the show, and we want them to allow their counterpart to shop as long as they want. So there's a bake sale, there's a chill out area, there's an animation tent, and we have this we've had it every year. It's a physical tent, and it's curated animation by Seattle Experimental Animation Team, otherwise known as SEAT. And that's probably going to be like 12 or 15 short pieces. And then we have local animators that are tabling that also have pieces in. We have Jim Woodring's 3D slides from his new book, Frank in the Third Dimension.
That's going to be at Shurton.
Yeah. It's going to premiere there. Yeah.
That is like
Or
a
advanced
really,
copies or something like that.
a really
so.
lucky thing for us.
Yeah.
We don't know how that happened. Just the timing aligned and the ability to premiere
Yeah.
Jim Woodring's
Luckily,
amazing new book.
books are pushed back, just in time for us. And Bruce Bickford is going to show a small piece of his newest finished animated film, Castle. And then Cold Brew Collective is going to do a mashup of kind of the horror films. And I'm not sure what in the horror films, if it's going to be like the worst gore or if it's going to be really obscure moments, but it's like a 20-minute piece, and so that's going to play at the end. So we're going to kick out all the kids and then rock it out with horror at the end. And Fictilis is going to do a piece called Writ Large, which is like a text poetry piece. So we'll have sort of a schedule of what's going on in the tent.
Yeah, so there's tons of stuff. That's just like the tip of the iceberg. We have a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. Oh, we should
throughout
mention
the
the premiere of Ghosts of Seattle Past, and that's our friend Jamie's project of cataloging memories of Seattle, of the ever-changing, rapidly Seattle. And so you go to this website and you can put your little pin on the map of like a place that's now gone. And then you write your little essay, or some people have done art projects about, it's all going into this like collective memory of.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's really
There's been
great.
great contributors too. Just wonderful people. It's going to be amazing. I'm really excited about that piece.
Yeah.
If I was going to put a second pin of someplace that isn't in Seattle anymore, I think I might do the SS Marie Antoinette.
Oh, yeah. I love that place.
Yeah.
Did you used to have something to do with that?
You read my resume. So I was one of the co-founders.
Wow.
There's a lot of folks who were involved with that, and I lived there for a little bit, and then I was living with my sister and my boyfriend and my best friend, and so I had to move out. But then I continued to be a part of it, and that was a wonderful space. We used to have all these art shows and music shows, and one of my favorite things was make-ins, where we would invite people to come over for like 18 to 24 hours and just get fucking crazy and start drawing on each other's drawings, and people are like doing sound recording, and then they're making an entire album just for that moment, just for the people who are there at the time. And that was a really wonderful way to feel like you're really part of a community. And a lot of those artists are like doing really well, and they're in museums, and I have all these crazy pieces that they put in the trash pile. We had the system where we would draw a little bit, and then when it sucked, we put it in the trash pile, and anybody could pick it up, and then they could fix it or try to fix it. And so that was really fun.
That place definitely holds a magical space in my heart, because I was in high school, when I would drive down to see shows there, drive in from 40 minutes away to see shows, and it always felt really special.
Yeah.
Even if there weren't a lot of people there. And when there were, they were those shows were really fun. So cool. Thanks for doing that. I was sad to see
I was
it go.
one part of that, and I didn't do the music, but I did help with that. So, sorry,
No,
just wanted to clarify.
No, yeah, I moved to Seattle about 10 years ago, and that was the first DIY space I was going to shows. I was like, oh my god, this place is great.
Yeah.
And now is it true that it shut down because people were lighting off fireworks and that attracted?
So by that time, everyone I knew had moved out, so I'm not actually sure about that. We'll send I've heard rumors, but I couldn't say.
The Rumor podcast comes out later. The Rumor Show. So, if I can ask you one question, I'm just going to ask you one quick question.
Only one. Faster.
It's just going to take a second. If you wanted to get the best value for your coffee,
value.
Where would you go? Where's your favorite place to spend money to get coffee?
Yeah.
If you had to make a ratio of how many dollars you're spending,
and we're telling you have to,
versus how many drips
in the coffee.
Danny, I feel like you're talking dollar for drip right now.
I don't know if I could do that mathematically, but I can say that I love to go to Ada's. That's a wonderful place.
The technical bookstore?
The technical bookstore.
We do a lot of meetings and get-togethers there, and that is...
There's sometimes they have readings there.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing one actually.
Yeah.
When are you gonna be doing it?
It's with Lit Crawl, and it's October 22nd, and we're the 7 to 7:45 slot of that night, and it's comic artists reading their work. And showing their work behind them on a screen and reading their work.
Okay, I was just gonna say because comic artists read their work.
Ooh, dry.
So the drawing looks like this. So you get a really thick line on the left.
So you know what's funny? So me and my friends used to do this game, which I recommend doing it. I recommend everyone doing this. You get the newspaper, the comics in the newspaper, and you pick Garfield, whatever high and low is, fucking Crankshaft, and you read and describe the panels to your friends one at a time. Don't let them look at it, and just be like, okay, this first panel, and you just read it out.
Whoa.
You will get the most awkward looks because people are like, wait, that's really a thing? That was in the paper? That feels really depressing.
Cleveland sounds depressing if that's what you do for fun.
Oh
no! I'm so sorry.
Joseph, have you ever lived anywhere besides?
Yeah, I lived in New York.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to grab a newspaper. We're going to do this. Hold on.
They made up games.
I just got the newspaper.
Oh, you don't know how to read a newspaper.
That doesn't sound.
It is really
right.
bad.
That sounds more like Bond.
All right, you want to do some Dilbert? Do you want to do non sequitur?
I do like non sequitur a lot.
Yeah,
let's do non sequitur, please.
Good.
I know we said Gasoline Alley earlier. Is this okay?
I don't even know if that's running anymore.
Yeah. No. Okay. The only thing about non sequitur, we need a multi-panel strip.
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Crankshaft, Garfield, Foxtrot.
Yeah, Foxtrot.
Okay.
That's like a family, right? A lot of characters. A pet.
Okay. Here we go. This was published on August 9th, 2015. First panel is... What's the little boy's name? The main boy's name?
In Foxtrot?
Yeah. All right, it's the main boy. He's sitting at a computer.
Calvin?
I think it's supposed to be an Apple product because it looks like a hybrid of an apple and a computer. And the computer is saying, does this screensaver make me look fat? Panel 2 is just a close-up of the computer that is half computer, half Apple. And it is saying, be honest, I can take it. Panel 3 is we've panned out. It's the little boy, the main character, looking at the computer. The computer is saying, "Why? It does. I can tell by the way that you're looking at me." Third panel is...
Wait, fourth?
Sorry, fourth panel is the same, except the older, kind of like jockish brother has walked in. I think he's eating a banana. The main character, the main little boy, says, "The new thin eye fruit models are making him self-conscious." And the computer says, "It's not my fault. I'm big chipped."
Oh, God. Can we undo that moment of our lives?
That was awful. That is worse.
Wow.
That's maybe the worst joke I've ever heard.
I feel like that artist hates women.
So now, let's say I go to this little short run on October 31st.
Why are you threatening him with your
If we're so lucky to
patronage?
have you actually come.
Let's say I go there, and it's 6 o'clock, and all the tables are packing up. Security's kicking everyone out. What am I going to do for the rest of the night?
No idea.
Well, first get out fast and go to dinner, and then quickly get yourself to Ballard.
What's going on in Ballard?
We're having an after party, a Halloween after party, and this is your chance to dress up. You can dress up during the day if you want. You might be a little out of place. Do it at night.
Yeah, it's not a cosplay situation, so it'll be weird.
That's right.
But
yeah.
we're going over to Hilliard's,
Yeah.
and it's going to be wonderful. We always have a photo booth, which is great, but this year it's gone to a whole nother level. We've got these giant paper mache monster heads that are going to be in this crazy, weird, otherworldly
You might
background.
have seen them before. They're made by Kelly Sorbell, and if you've ever been to an art show at the Inn in maybe the past 3 years, you've maybe seen them like all piled up in a bathtub, like 12 of them. But he's always building new ones, and so he and his girlfriend just opened Good Neighbor Gallery at 23rd and Ward. They have really great art shows there. They're gonna paint the backdrop and bring the monster heads.
Very cool.
So I really feel like more than anything you can add to a photo booth, people are gonna have fun with these big heads.
Yeah.
And then bands.
There's bands. That's a thing that people might come for. So we have Mommy Longlegs.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's hear a little track.
Awesome.
2, 3, 4.
That was a little track.
And wait, before you talk about the other talk about the other bands, and then I'll tell the story.
First of all, we've really we've followed Mommy Longlegs since the beginning, and we really love those women, and their music is so good to play if you're getting ready to go out at night and you just want to get psyched up, get your energy up
Instead of what you really want to do, which is take a nap.
Yeah.
Well,
Stay
By
home.
which I
take a
mean go to
nap.
bed for 12 hours.
Take a nap. I think maybe Wimps is the song that we're thinking of. But that was Wimps with Nap.
We play a Wimp song like every episode.
We do play a Wimp song. No, Bobby Long is great, and I'm 99% sure they're going to be our next guest.
Oh, awesome. Perfect.
We've been
That's
going back and forth and just
Yeah.
work schedules, and they're on tour and stuff, but 99% sure that if you tune in next week, AM 1045, you'll hear that.
Yeah.
And
I don't know why you're staring at me. Yes, I want them to be
agree
on
with
too.
me.
Yeah.
Lily Morlock also did the poster for that show, and she's a great artist. And Melissa, who's also in that band, makes these beautiful photography zines. They'll be at the pity party table. And so we love to have the bands that we work with also have a zine connection or an art connection to the show. And that's why this band was perfect.
Does the other band that's
Yeah.
playing have
So
Yeah.
Your Heart Breaks has Clyde Peterson, and he's part of SEAT, which is the Seattle Experimental Animation Team. He does amazing work. I think he's one of my favorite artists in Seattle.
Definitely.
That
Always.
band's amazing too. So.
Yeah.
so fun. And our main goal every year, because we're exhausted and like we think we're gonna die, but then we get a band that like makes us dance, and all of a sudden like that second wind high is incredible. So we always want to have like danceable bands that are going to make everybody dance and just forget how tired they are and just like completely just rock out the end of Short Run. And Hilliard's closes at 11. So this is going to be a really condensed, awesome party, but it's going to probably go by pretty fast.
It's going to be like a whippet of music.
It is. So get there at 7:30. Doors open at 7:30. We're going to have
whippets at 7:30.
Show up for the first 50 people.
Yeah. Bring your own balloon, but we'll have the whippets.
And Tasty Vibes food truck will be outside. And so if you don't want to go out to a formal dinner or anything, you just want to head over to the venue, they have great burgers, sandwiches, vegetarian, lots of options. And then, bands, photo booth, beer. We're going to do like a silent auction of some cool prizes. And
He wasn't judging you.
Silent.
Her face for a second.
I was like, oh shit, what? What did I do? Did I break copyright law? What did I do? Oh, anyway, it's gonna be a really fun night.
Cool, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, thanks. That's when we finally get to talk to people, you know, who are at the show, because we went around and solved problems all day and just waved to everybody. But at the after party, we can actually have some fun.
I just want to tell a quick story.
Faster.
So Mommy Longlegs, obvious pun on a Daddy Longlegs, the spider. Earlier in the week,
I like how you were kind of checking. Like, that's right?
Yeah.
It sounded like...
Am I the crazy one? No, so earlier in the week, I was watching this cat play a game of cat and mouse with a Daddy Longlegs.
Oh, yeah.
And it was really fun because, like, you know, I was like running around the kitchen, all this stuff. And the cat finally, you know, not finally caught it, but like finally decided to take like a bite, but then kind of like spit it out. And there was like the main pile, but then there was like one leg that was like, if you could imagine like taking a stapler and flipping it around, like the leg just kept moving and kept moving. And it was the craziest thing that I've ever seen.
That's
and like,
awesome.
I don't understand why that was happening. And like, I just like watched it happen for like a long time.
Yeah.
And the leg just kept going and going and going.
Have you
The games you play and the way you spend your time boggle my mind.
Have you ever ripped the tail off of a lizard? Like, that's pretty much all I did as a child.
You know what?
I think I just got upped. No, I have not ripped the tail off.
Or
of a
you
lizard.
cut a head off a duck or a chicken and it keeps running around for a while. So.
I know, but it's just weird because there's just this one, like, one leg was going back and forth, like, nonstop. And I wanted to see how long it would go, but then, like, you know, other people in the room were like, this is freaking me out. Get rid of this.
Just tell them to turn away. Like, that, problem solved. You can watch nature happen.
Or put a glass on it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's funny because the next show coming up is actually about animal maiming.
It is.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I know. All right, so we got a little off topic. Kelly, you did not say where you like to get coffee.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did agree with Aaron. Ada's for sure. And I like, when I go to Stumptown Coffee, I always get like just a pure shot or an Americano. And at Victrola, I get like a short latte. So I have like my
drink per place.
Drink per place. And money is out the window for me because I've been kind of cutting myself off from outside coffee. I've been trying to make coffee at home. I actually had a coffee from 7-Eleven the other day. Ooh. That's the first time in like 12 years I did that. So if I'm going to treat myself, I'm just going to do it. But I want to really taste it. If I'm spending the money, I'm really going to taste it.
Oh, and can I change my answer?
Yeah. Yeah.
So my favorite place to get coffee, and definitely best bang for your buck, is actually my house. My boyfriend makes a latte for me every single morning.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
sometimes twice a day.
He is a master.
Yeah, I know, right, guys? So I
he used to be a barista, and he has his own machine.
So what are the hours of that place?
It's by appointment only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Email us at accentonpurposepodcast@gmail.com. We'll get you on the list.
We're gonna get the most emails we've ever gotten this week. Meeting one.
So Joseph, where's your favorite place to get coffee?
Thank you for finally asking.
You know, actually, as Joseph said before,
we're always out of time.
We're out of time. The next show's coming in. It's about animal maiming. Is Amy? Maiming?
Yeah.
About animal maiming. It's The show That Didn't Hurt Me, I Ain't Lying, where they talk about, I guess apparently there's a lot of animal maiming that goes on in the world, and they document it, and they tell you where to direct your funds to stop it from happening.
Or wait, I thought it was
people who were into it.
help.
Yeah.
Help you
I think
maim.
you're wrong. I think you don't
Yeah,
like.
he never listens to
Yeah.
me.
He didn't listen to
You
it.
know, as soon as
It's
I
a
leave,
support
I
animal
turn
maiming.
to FM.
Oh.
my God.
All right, we'll talk about that in the meeting.
Anyways, Erin, Kelly, thank you so
Thank
for
you.
coming on.
Go to Short Run.
Yeah, hope to see you there.
Don't cover your mouth when you say that. Go to Short Run.
Yeah.
October 31st.
Hey.
Hey, this has been another week of Access on Purpose. I'm Danny.
I'm Joseph.
And keep one finger on the pause button, one foot in the grave.
And fuck you for listening.
This has been a podcast presented by
Hard to Find Media.
Subscribe to Hard to Find Media on youtube.com/Hard to Find Media Network. This shit is free. Share it. Blast it. Fuck it.